Well, Official Secrets tells a little-known story about a British whistleblower prior to the Second Iraq War. She's Catherine Gunn, Keira Knightley, whom we first meet in court being prosecuted under the Official Secrets Act for leaking confidential material from her position as translator of Mandarin at the intelligence-gathering Government Communications Headquarters.
Someone in this building has betrayed their government and their country.
The material was incendiary. It was a memo from Frank Kosa, the head of the Regional Targets Division at NSA, the American intelligence counterpart, requesting Britain to spy on the 6 non-permanent member countries of the United Nations Security Council in order to sway their vote endorsing the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Catherine copied the memo, and through a friend of a friend, it ended up on the desk of the Observer journalist Martin Bright, Matt Smith. When Catherine confesses to the leak, she's arrested and threatened with prosecution, much to the despair of her husband, Turkish-born Kurd Yasar Adam Bakri, who risks deportation. Turning to the human rights organisation Liberty for help in her defence, she's advised by Ben Emerson, Ralph Fiennes. It was a bit of a relief to find out that the director Gavin Hood was unaware of Catherine's story, because I hadn't heard of it either, possibly due to the fact that the invasion of Iraq in 2003 obliterated news of anything but the war. Hood has made an unshowy and fairly unexciting effort bringing authenticity to this film, which is enhanced by the performances in it. Keira Knightley is exceptional as Catherine, and so are Matt Smith and Ralph Fiennes. There's a terrible sadness at the heart of it as you watch the devastation beginning in Iraq, knowing that the repercussions are still going on all these years later. The figures at the end of the film about the number of deaths and wounded are a condemnation of what was, in effect, an illegal war. This is a cautionary tale about underhandedness and duplicity in government. But in essence, it's the story of a remarkably brave young woman.
Yes, it's certainly a cautionary tale, isn't it, this film? It has a lot of resonance given the treatment of whistleblowers at the moment, all around the world, and particularly in Australia, where they're being persecuted right, left and centre, rather like the press by this government. So it has the cautionary tale element. It's sort of quite steely in one respect, this film, but or at least one side of it is rather steely in presentation. The other side is almost circus-like at times as we go into the press rooms. And I must say, I've never been in a newsroom quite like the one that's portrayed here in the film. It's a bit over the top, I think, the portrayal of the journalist, particularly the Reese Ifans character, who's a gonzo journalist in America, and really completely and utterly over the top, shaggy-haired and shaggy and smoking.
Have you seen The Real Guy?
No, I haven't seen The Real Guy.
He's like that.
He's like, well...
Yes, he's really
well, he might be like us. It doesn't look very sort of real in the film.
Yeah.
It doesn't really kind of
Well, I mean, but I just sort of think that the essence of the work that those guys did to authenticate that document was significant. And it was significant that those member nations voted against the invasion. So, in effect, the leaking of this document did have an effect. It didn't actually have an effect on the decision to go to war ultimately. But, she was incredibly brave.
Fantastic.
Not letting her colleagues at work be interrogated and suspected. She owned up to it.
And it is an absolutely impeccable performance from Knightley, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely superbly done.
Yeah, and I loved Ralph Fiennes in
He's
this
terrific.
too.
He's absolutely fantastic.
I would give this 4 stars. I think it's a very solid film.
Well, it's solid. No, I'd give it 3.5, but it is a very solid film, but 3.5 from me.
What you did, it was extraordinary.
The war is illegal. The public is entitled to know why.
My motive was to stop a war and save lives. I have to tell the truth.